People aren't actually attending to maintenance of their homes, and they're not attending to the deep cleaning. It has to happen beforehand. You know, what we get presented with and what we see is it's so much more can be done. By not staging and by not doing those few things beforehand, you really are you're literally leaving money on the table. I would just like this to be an education for people to take that away, and also for the professionals, the real estate professionals, for them to actually say, okay, well, there is someone that we can use.
Estelle, thank you so much for joining us today on another episode of Real Talk SA's podcast. I'm really, really happy to have you here. You haven't only just been a long-standing friend, but we've also worked together on a couple of projects. So really lovely to have you here. Before we jump into our very exciting discussion today, would you please just tell the audience and the listeners a little bit more about yourself and which company you represent and what it is that you actually do?
Okay, thanks, Mia. Thanks for having me. So my company name is With Estelle, and most of my products and basically my services are decluttering at its core. So I do decorating, I stage homes, amongst a whole lot of other things, yeah.
I've personally worked with you a few times, and it's always been such a pleasure. So I really felt like I wanted to share that knowledge, with the public, because a lot of people don't know, and it's very, very overwhelming. So today we're going to be discussing all the do's and don'ts when it comes to home staging. So yes, we'll jump right in. What would you say is the biggest misconception homeowners have about home staging when they're preparing to sell? And I know this is a tricky one, but...
Yes, it's quite a loaded question.
Yes.
But I think the biggest misconception I think that people feel when I come in is that they think it's going to just be easy and they can keep their life exactly how it is for the duration of the sale. And that is not the truth. You literally have to stage and keep it like that until the house is sold.
That's not easy. We've gone through that process with you. You very kindly helped us. And I have to say it made a huge, huge difference. But what was valuable about that is if you do it from the beginning and it's all set up, you don't need to run around on show days or when clients come through. It's there and ready and it's done. And then that way you've also actually done half of your packing, which is great. So can you walk us through your typical process when you stage a home from the first visit to the final touches? What does that process look like? So for someone that's never done that before.
So basically, the way we do it is we do a consult. The consult consists of me walking through with the client, and they have a piece of paper and they take down some notes, and we discuss everything to death. We discuss what the buyer is feeling, what the seller is feeling, and we try and break it down. So we work from curb appeal. We literally start at the gate, and we work through the whole entire house, the garden, all the way through to the shed. It's vital that we look at everything because the buyer is buying everything.
And the buyer is also buying the lifestyle that comes with that house. So I know when you visited our home, you were quite, not harsh, but you were like, you can't be offended if I say anything because I'm looking at it from a different perspective. And I've seen this time and time again, especially with photographs and when people come through to view homes that are on sale for purchase, they're buying the lifestyle that comes with that house. So I know you're quite big on staging it in terms of if it's a beautiful kitchen, you want to highlight elements in that kitchen so they can almost envision themselves, right, cooking in that kitchen.
That's it.
What other, elements would you say helps to sell a home when it comes to showing the buyer the lifestyle that home comes with?
So lifestyle is really, really important because it gives you that emotional connection. And when you are selling a house or buying a house, you're not actually just dealing with the bricks and the mortar. You're dealing with the people. And the quickest way to get buy-in and the quickest way to get that emotional connection is through activities, and it's through using your 5 senses, and it's through the lifestyle. And I know everyone's like, what's lifestyle? Well, it's life is living. So we take out the daily living, which is what we all know because our homes are all filled with that. We take it away, and what we do is we only showcase the pretty stuff. So if you think about a showroom floor, we literally are just doing exactly that. We're just putting out the bare necessities. We're taking away everything that just doesn't make sense.
I think it's a little bit like this studio, which you also decorated. And I love the minimalism and the simplicity of it, but yet it also has charm that comes with it. So I know a lot of people think this whole exercise could be quite costly, and maybe in some instances it will be. But what would you say are some of the most cost-effective staging techniques that make a big impact on buyers? Because it doesn't always have to cost a lot of money.
No, staging, technically speaking, staging shouldn't cost you anything. But I think we run the risk of ignoring that most people think that they're ready to sell their home when they're nowhere near ready. Maintenance still hasn't been done. So, yeah, it's a bit twofold, that question. It's a bit like... but one of the things that I like to sort of implement are the 3 Ds. So it's declutter, take away the surplus. No one's interested in 2 dining room tables and 18 side tables. Just do what makes sense. Make that flow. It's not a storage unit. It's a home, and we want to showcase the actual living. So it's the D for that, declutter. Then it's demonstrate lifestyle. Demonstrating the lifestyle is basically the activities. It's the showcasing what you do in the home and all the joyful aspects of the home. And then the last D is depersonalize. So really it's trying to take, the bright purple wall, neutralizing the palette so it actually suits 98% of the people walking through. They can envision their life instead of it being yours. So the 3 Ds shouldn't cost you too much money, but there's some cost to it.
I think because it's, in most cases, such an emotional thing. What was helpful for us, and I know you did a bit of interior decorating things with us when we built our home, and then some advice on when we sold it. I think it is such an emotional thing that it's really nice to have someone like yourself to hold your hand and to go like, it's okay. It's going to be fine, but you need to set the emotion aside. And it's almost like you then do that for them through that process. Because when potential buyers come through, and we've seen this time and time again, something like, for example, a purple wall, and no offense to any of our listeners or audience out there that has a purple wall, but it's an example, can put somebody off right off the bat. It's a simple thing to change. It's not going to cost you a lot of money, but I love the word neutralizing, because I think that is just basically setting the tone for someone to come in and make that home their own.
Absolutely.
So have you ever had to stage a particularly challenging space, and how did you make it work? You can use our house as an example if you want to, but
no. So yeah, I think most spaces are challenging when it comes to the DIY aspect. We don't make people move out. They stay in their homes, and I think that's always a challenging thing. They sit in the same chair every night. They watch the same program at the same time, and that now we move the chair and it's a problem. There's a bit of uncomfortable in their lives now, and so every sort of staging that we do comes with a lot of discomfort. Not everyone is over the moon with the changes, but when the house is sold, and when the house sells quickly, they're all excited and they all tell me that they want to live in a staged home. None of them do, but they want to because they enjoyed the process, but they only enjoyed the process right at the end, because I obviously want you to start packing. You've made the decision to sell. You might as well start that process well and properly. And I would say it's actually the discomfort that most of the people staying in the home feel, because I literally turn their lives on their head.
And even though that's hard, you do, as a seller, reap the rewards afterwards. And I'm true testament. Like, I can really, really vouch for that. So I also know, with us being in the industry selling homes, with the access we have to technology, when you're looking for a home to buy, you're going to go onto Google and say houses for sale in Hillcrest, for example. So with the rise of that online home listings and virtual tours, do you think that's changed the way you stage your home today?
Absolutely. So your photos are always 2D. They're quite flat, so it brings everything to the forefront. So you battle to see depth. And so, if you are one of those people that has a very full house, it just makes everything scream. Whereas what an online video does for you is it actually showcases the feel of the layout. And I think that is something that a lot of people want to see before they actually waste their time and come out to see something, because you can pick up a lot more on a video than you can on a 2D photo.
Estelle, I know that you work very closely with real estate agents as well, and I think that's amazing because you bring the value of prepping the home before they then list it. Do you want to just tell us a little bit more about what that process would look like? So I'm an estate agent. I have a mandate to sell a property. I contact you. What do? You come in and you make it all pretty, basically. If only was that simple.
If only it was that simple. So the real estate agent or professional is basically responsible for the seller and the buyer and that relationship. I don't think it's quite nice when they're saying, "Oh, please put the laundry away," and can you just change that, and can you do that, and that doesn't read well, and then they have to still talk about money, and and they're crying or something's happening, and it's very, very emotional. So what I feel in this process, I actually feel that you're taking two professionals and you're segmenting something that could actually be really incredibly difficult. And we're saying, this is the reality. And then you've got the other person that can hold your hand and walk you through that process. But then you've also got someone that really wants you to get the most that market is offering. Market will pay what market will pay.
It's a dual service offering to the client, who is in this case your seller. So I think for me, like as an estate agent, even though I'm more involved in our head office and that, I would love to have someone like you by my side on every consult with a client, and you actually add that as an additional service offering, because it will really set your listing apart from others in the area if the home is staged well. And I've seen it so many times. So I think that is so, so valuable. So tell me now, if people would like to get hold of you, what would be the best way for them to do that?
I think WhatsApp is always easier.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just a very simple girl. I like to do things very simply. I also do virtual staging consults. So I've done a couple in Cape Town and in Joburg, and it really is, communication and the global village is actually really, really special. So I'm simple. I like it just WhatsApp, and it's great because then I can get the gist of exactly what's going on, and I can reply when it's convenient to do so.
No, that's great. I think WhatsApp has become such a everyday tool for us in business, and we certainly use it every day. So we'll also put all your information in the comment box. So what would be, just as we're coming into a close, what would be your takeaway advice to a future seller before they even approach, say, the estate agent? What can they do to prepare before they even get to that stage, as a takeaway for our listeners and our audience?
Good question, Mia. Good question. I would say what I'm seeing a lot of is is that people aren't actually attending to maintenance of their homes, and they're not attending to the deep cleaning that has to happen beforehand. What we get presented with and what we see is it's so much more can be done. By not staging and by not doing those few things beforehand, you really are you're literally leaving money on the table. And it's devastating for me to see. And I would just like this to be an education for people to take that away, and also for the professionals, the real estate professionals, for them to actually say, okay, well, there is someone that we can use. And yeah, biggest thing would be please attend to the maintenance, and also start packing. Do the 3Ds. It's not necessary to wait for the estate agent professional to come through and to tell you something that you really don't want to hear. That's my biggest thing.
So I would love to know, from your expertise and your experience, what changes would you like to see in the real estate industry in South Africa specifically?
Look, I mean, there is so much. So because this is such an old service, literally it's been done for over 50 years now in America. And what I would like to actually see in South Africa is that I'd like to see the fact where we actually change our way of doing business. And I don't know if this excites you.
No, it does.
But at the moment, we have this kind of connection where we go, you put your house on the market and you go, and everyone's thumb sucks. And, okay, we think your house is worth 2 million. And then everyone's like, I'll pay 1.6. This is the thing that I want. What America has right now, where they have people that outbid each other, I want South Africa to go that way.
Yeah.
And the only way it's going to go that way is if we are presenting a beautiful looking house. And I'm not saying it's going to have no mistakes. It is. We just mitigate the mistakes and the things that are like really not looking great. We never hide for when we do things. So it's to showcase all those things that are amazing, to mitigate the downfalls, and then to get into a place where we are actually outbidding. That would be my dream.
I know you've had your business for a couple of years now. What would you say has been something that's really contributed to the success of your business and actually helping clients and holding their hands through that sometimes very difficult process?
Sure. Yeah, difficult is definitely the key word there, because in all my services, there's like an emotional element that is connected to it. And so you're right, Mia, you do end up holding people's hands and just kind of being there for them. I think it's the communication, and it's just being there for them, sending them that message and, hey, you know what, it's okay. I mean, I know you're going through a tough time, and just letting people vent as well, because it's hard, whether you're selling your house, whether you want to keep it or you don't want to keep it or whatever.
I've sold now my house. I'm now moving into a new place. Do you also come in to help decorate the new place, which I know is exciting because it's your new investment, it's your new home? Is that a service that you offer as well?
Yes. Mia, thanks. Yeah, I do that. So the thing, when we are taking things away from people and we're doing the staging, we take away. When we're decluttering, we take away. When you are decorating, you're adding. You're making it your own. And that's where it's fun, and you can have the bright art and the purple wall and all that kind of fun stuff. Making it your own space, I think, is vital. And I think that is what you should do with a home.
Going from decluttering to decorating. I like that.
Absolutely. There is a big difference, though, between the two. Obviously, decorating is it's personal. It's very sort of focused on the person, whereas staging is neutral. What we want to do is take away all that personality, because we want so many more of those buyers to look at it and go, this could be for me.
you want them to be able to see themselves in that house. So I just want to have really touch very quickly on color palettes. So I know greys is very in at the moment. So let's talk 50 Shades of Grey. No, I'm just joking. But what is the most popular kind of color palettes that you see when you're staging homes that has resulted in successful sale of that property?
Okay, so that's also a very good question. So grey is kind of very sort of millennial, and what we've done is we've moved away from the 50 shades of those greys, and we've moved towards greige.
Greige.
Yes,
I like
it's like
that.
a beige undertone, but it's still in the grey family. The best colour for staging is white, because it reflects light, and what we really want in a home is we want light, bright and airy.
I love that. And that's an easy color to paint.
Absolutely.
Well, you have given us so much information. I'm actually really, really excited for having you back again. So thank you again so much. And we will see you soon.